Hi everyone, Professor Philip Travis here, and we're in Rome, and today we're going to talk briefly about World War II in Italy. And the reason we're at Rome, of course, the Colosseum behind us is an incredibly historical site in its own right. Of course, on June 5th, 1944, the United States, led by General Clark, had actually occupied Rome, the Eternal City, a day before Operation Overlord. And of course, American and Allied troops would have gone right past the Colosseum here and even resided in the Colosseum for a period of time. Interestingly, when we look back at the Second World War, we often think about the Second World War from the American perspective as though the Americans somehow were constantly succeeding and never making mistakes. In fact, when we look at the operations in Italy, we see Italy in a lot of ways was a series of costly mistakes, costly in terms of lives for the Allies. Then Chief of Staff George C. Marshall called Italy, after the fact, a costly sideshow. Following the success of Operation Torch in 1943 in North Africa, the United States moved through Sicily and then into southern Italy. In southern Italy, it had a major series of battles fought near Monte Cassino, and there were a number of assaults on Monte Cassino, and it resulted in the destruction of a 6th century Benedictine monastery. The destruction of that monastery was regarded by many of the high command at the time as completely unnecessary. But the United States did it. The United States commander at the time did it anyway. And the result of that operation was to give the Nazis, their foe, a place to take refuge and to assault the Americans from. It was actually a huge mistake. And not only the destruction of an ancient monastery, it was a site that wasn't being used prior to its bombardment. The bombardment of the Benedictine monastery in Monte Cassino actually prolonged the battle and worsened the American situation, the Allies. During this time as well, the United States launched an amphibious, or the Allies, I should say, it was really a British operation, Operation Shingle, was launched in Anzio, just south of Rome. And the commanders at the time went by a textbook operation that you secure the beachhead. But in securing the beachhead, going by the textbook in this case, they actually delayed the success of the operation, and they gave the Nazis the opportunity to retool and respond, and they were unable to get off the beach. And at that point, the operations in the south at Monte Cassino Pass were then seeking to save the operations in Anzio, which in fact, the Anzio operation was designed to save the operation at Monte Cassino. Two really costly blunders in the operations during World War II in Italy. And Italy is a very difficult geographic landscape to fight in. Lots of mountains. It's very difficult, and this meant that there were some costly frontal assaults that were required in places like Monte Cassino. Even the seizure of Rome by the Allies on June 5th, 1944, is regarded critically by historians. General Mark Clark took the city, and most historians regard this as an action that he did to a large degree because of the personal accomplishment of having taken the Eternal City of Rome. In reality, the operation simply allowed the Nazis a time to retreat and further consolidate their defensive lines further up in Italy, therefore prolonging the Italian campaign. The seizure of Rome happens just before D-Day. As a result of that, it is not a major publicity affair, and as a result of that, it actually delayed the success of the operation in Italy because General Mark Clark went for the city of Rome as opposed to going after the Nazi defenses more directly. So when we look at Italy, it is a success for the Allies in World War II, but it's a series of costly blunders. First at Monte Cassino, some very costly operations in terms of lives, the destruction, unnecessary destruction of a 6th century Benedictine monastery, the failed operation at Anzio, and then the unnecessary capture of the city of Rome. And of course, Allied soldiers and American soldiers would have come right past this area and even resided in the Colosseum there.